You're just here. We can share it. Oh, it's big.
Did it just?
Okay.
We're
It's recording.
We got one right there.
But at least.
What were you last night? Oh, we're good. Okay. Call the meeting to order, please. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Also, in partnership with the communities, the mission of the Dover Clinton Felton School District is to educate individuals in an environment of trust and respect so they become self-directed, responsible, lifelong learners. Welcome all. Nice to see you on this sunny day. Unfortunately, it's not melting, but we have all board members present this evening, as well as Superintendent Hunstead, our Community Ed Director, Tracy Tillotson as well, and guests. Do we have a motion to adopt the agenda? Motion by Nicole. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by David. All those in favor, or first of all, is there any changes to the agenda? I'm sorry, I totally
No,
missed
that's
that.
okay, and no, it's
Okay.
just me talking about a few things in my superintendent report, so nothing
Okay,
otherwise.
okay, sorry about that, guys. All right, motion by Nicole, second by David. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, public comments, none, rebel recognition.
Well, we have to talk about this Valley's basketball team.
Yeah, a
Um,
lot of fun.
it was a lot of fun. I was able to drive in Tuesday, so I'll just talk so Lindsay can just enjoy it a little bit. And I don't know who else was there or what. I think Amy, you were there too. I saw you, but were you there too? Good. Yeah. So Tuesday was I'm glad it stormed a little bit maybe, and I'm not glad it stormed because the way home for me was not fun. But 2 hours late was maybe worked out okay for a lot of people, but it was not a fun trip for all those that finally made it home. Great game. That was an exceptional game. That was fun. Williams Arena is something for me. I just love that arena. And the boys just really stepped up and played great. And then it was all those decisions. What do we do? We come home? Do we stay? What do we do? But school was good then too, and go back Friday and Saturday. It was a great. I had a couple different people come from different towns that said, "Wow, your boys really represented your section well." My brother, who's a big basketball person, just like I am, but watched some of it on TV, and he said, to lose to the state champions, and then battle with the #1 team in the state with the matchup issues that we really had, he said was just really fun to watch. So that was kind of nice to hear that.
Yeah.
It was just,
Yeah.
so as we're standing in the bleachers and people are walking out after the last game, I see the board chair down at the bottom. She goes, "No, that was a win." Lindsay looked up at me and I go, "Yes, it was." So the loss was a win. That was.
It was.
Really, the boys just battled to the end, and it was fun to see that.
Yeah.
A lot of pride in our community. A lot of people come up to me and say, "Wow, what a great showing by your school district."
Mhm.
And I said, "Yeah, it's really cool."
That was
So,
awesome.
anyway, that's my 2 cents. It was fun.
Yeah, it was super exciting for the boys. I'll just highlight, I want to send a shout out to Paul Marquardt. If anybody didn't get to hear, he gave the boys a tour of the Capitol on Thursday.
It was Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, and Owen had to say that was probably one of the highlights of his trip, just getting to see Mr. Marquardt smile. He said, I just made my week that we got to do that with him and get that experience. So thank you, Mr. Marquardt, out in the world. If you ever watch this, those boys will always remember that. So, but as a parent and as a senior, what a way to go out. I mean, everybody keeps coming up to me, "Oh, are you sad about it?" And I'm like, no, because they got to play how do I put that? The games, the largest amount of games they could possibly
Oh,
play.
yeah.
How do I even say that
Yeah.
word?
I couldn't have played any more games.
They couldn't play any more games.
No.
They got to play until the absolute last day possible, and it was amazing. I have to give a shout out to Owen. He made all tournament teams,
Yes.
so that was awesome to have a representation from our school, and so lots of good things.
So finally with that, I think we need to do a shout out to Mike and his staff too.
Oh, absolutely.
Coach, just,
Clark, yeah.
yeah, just
Yeah.
how the boys handled themselves, conducted themselves. through that whole time period. I just really appreciate his professionalism and his passion for the kids. And that was, it's just so kudos to the staff too. They did
Yeah.
a nice job. So
A
anyway.
lot of fun, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I know, all conference came out for girls last week, and that was, Arya Garrett and, Hayden Backus. And boys, was Drew Shealy, and then Owen was named the conference MVP for his third year in a row, so kudos to that. I don't know about our wrestlers. Did we have any, do they do all conference wrestling?
No.
They just, like, if you make it to state, okay? And then I never heard about dance, if they had any all conference dancers.
I didn't either.
Okay, so congratulations all the winter sports kids, and it was fun walking in here, but the baseball players, the three of us walked in together and we're like, they're throwing that ball really hard, going, Shane, hit us, please.
Like the wall.
Hug the wall, so.
I'd like to give a shout out to the student section. Entertaining, to say the least, and the Jersey night one night and whiteout the next, and they kept the energy up in that gym. And mini haha maybe had 20 kids in their student section, so the rebels were mini ha-has for the night. And they were.
They tweeted about it. They
Very
tweeted.
They did. So
They
they tweeted
tweeted.
out to our kids saying,
Yeah.
hey, good luck. You helped us, win and be
Yeah.
Holy Family. So good luck to you guys. And that
Yeah.
was cool. All them.
There were hugs. Mini haha were hugging all our jerseys all the way up as they were exiting.
It was pretty cool when they went and joined them.
It was
Yeah.
really cool. So
Yeah, a lot of fun, a lot of fun. And speech team got first and DL over the weekend. So when do they have sections?
They got sections, subsections on Thursday and then the following week sections.
Good,
Yeah, there's a little trophy out here because they just got first place. I think
Yeah.
there's a little plaque out here. So,
awesome.
and then we have concert tonight. So,
Get through,
yeah, that's it.
Get through 12, just a few things, so awesome. All right, reports, Tracy, you're up, 6.1, custodial and community ed.
Right,
Everybody,
well,
she's got your handouts here.
I don't want to overwhelm you. You can look at this when you get a chance to, but overall, maybe just a few updates on, custodial. It's, busy now that, most of the building is kind of getting turned over now, so it's just readjusting the different areas and things like that. Shannon and I kind of stay up to date on the custodial, so, it's, students are helping out a lot here at the Glendon site, not too much over at the Dilworth site. That's mainly our full-time staff. And then we have 3 over here as well. They also help with all the event setup. So there's that piece too, that takes away from a little bit of their time as well. Just even thinking of summer and grounds and all that. I know that's on Shannon's radar. Shout out to our custodial staff. That's just a busy job, and there's never enough workers to kind of get it all done as fast as we can, but they're doing very, very well. Just to update too, if you haven't noticed, if you haven't had a need to be on there, but we kind of updated our website, the community ed website, kind of added more graphics to make it more user friendly. Click on this, and you get to where you need to be. So if you get a chance, just look. Programming, just some updates. One thing that I visited on with Shannon and Nicole and Brittany sit on our advisory council is truly overall, from a community ed standpoint, I think the biggest thing for us is we want to draw people into our programs. We want to make sure we have good enrollment. We work closely with a lot of our high school coaches and staff. Right now we're running ACT, working with Kathy Martin on that, but want to first and foremost get the enrollment, but also not make it cost effective for the family. So one thing that I'll visit a little bit more on with our advisory council is when we look at, you as a board look at the community ed budget overall, when we look at it, when we look at the programs, we truly take the people who signed up and paid, our tuition assistants, ones who haven't paid, and overall say, what is the overall program cost? But we also have to keep in mind, there is other expenses through community ed. There is Sarah, there's me, there's, different things. There's office supplies to do our job. And overall, I think I want to, I just kind of put the numbers down for now, instead of doing all the work and then the advisory, we meet again in May. And I think by then, you'll see overall what all the programs cost. I could truly break down, okay, I'll just say daddy daughter ball. That's what this costs. but truly community ed is more than just the program fees. We want to make sure that at the end of the day, when you look at Fund 4, you truly see that bottom number and say, okay, this is where we end up. And I don't want to miss anything. I mean, I think when I think of community ed, like when we all balance our checkbook, you have to take in FICA, you know, health insurance, all of those things. Because if we don't, we're giving you a skewed number and we don't want to do that. So every single payroll that we do, Brooke will send me an update and I'll add it up and then I'll just highlight, okay, this person went to this program, this person went here. So I want to do an all encompassing cost for you so that at the end of the day, you see really what each program, because then I could take, say, a percentage of this and, okay, I got to put this much to wrestling, this much to this. Because Sarah does spend time on all the programs and we want to make sure it's right for you. Before we would plug in just what our enrollment was, the how much we collected in fees, how many didn't pay, and what's tuition assistance, and gave you that number. But I think when you look at that number, you need to know that, yep, all of this adds up to that. Make sense? That fair? Okay. But you can kind of go through and just see where like each program, how our enrollment has been. We do keep a spreadsheet, Sarah and I, that shows anybody that has a non-paid account. So that, you know, at any time we might just do a reminder, or were you in need of tuition assistance? So that's a document that we keep internally. Any questions on that or anything you want me to do different with that before I kind of finalize a lot of those things? I'm gonna look to
Just
Brittany
looking-
and Nicole first because you're on my advisory. Anything that you can think of? Do you think that sounds right or?
Well, I'll just jump in. So Nicole and I met with Tracy to kind of go
Yep.
through some of the fees and that, and kind of that breakdown.
Mhm.
And so, which is important. So if you ever want to see the breakdown, I mean, instead of giving you a stack of every breakdown, and Nicole, I'll let you comment on it, but I thought it gave you, I think, and even me some more clarity to what actually happened.
Yeah,
So-
Tracy brought one of, like, an example, and so she tried to break down kind of the costs and the revenues and all of that just in that one program, but that was just one. So
Yeah.
she's got her work cut out for her
Yeah.
to provide us all of that, which I really do appreciate that, because I know we get a few questions on that, but it was definitely more clear as to where the money is coming and going, to see the way that you had it laid out.
And I would say, I think the biggest message is we don't want to overcharge people. That's not the intent. It is truly to say, you know, it's even like when you have 5th grade, 6th grade volleyball, and the league decides, okay, you're going to have 7 away games and 2 home games. Well, just that transportation piece is more money. You know, like Eileen and I say, oh gosh, every time we turn that bus, it's this much money, which is only appropriate that they charge us that amount. But now this year, we've even done it different where she'll say, okay, how many 6th grade teams do we have? And I'll say 2. Okay, I can use the little bus for this. I'll drive this one. If you, Ron will drive this one. So it's been a lot more creative on how can we save those dollars. So, but that will come, and when we meet again, I think it's May 3rd, a lot of our programs will be wrapping up, and then we'll be able to share with the advisory council overall where we're at in the almost 3/4 of the way through the year. Okay. Open gym, that's one that's an advisory. We just decided we're going to open up the building, offer it. We still pay a supervisor because we want to make sure we have someone here. So just so you know that. Bike to school day, May 3rd, we'll work with our cities on that. Another class that we offer for free is When I'm in Charge, preparing kids for summer, making sure they know what to do when they're home safe. Snowmobile safety and mother-son event. First year we did that, pretty fun, was good. Moving on to concessions this year, we had probably 4 students that primarily worked in our concessions with us. Alyssa graduated last year. She came back. Some days you would run it, not get a night off. So it was a win-win. But no, good students, good workers, and I don't know, pretty biased on our concessions because I think it's pretty good. Rebel Kids Care, that has, that takes some time. As we all know, we're working with early childhood right now, and Roseanne and Shannon and principals on really where we are with Rebel Kids Care. One thing that you know, as we go into summer, I would say right now we're over 100 kids. We were at 90, now we're up to over 100 for summer. Might be adding some more staffing. It's a good problem to have. We just find more space. And one thing I wanted this is just a draft. It's not final yet, but that document I shared with you is something we're going to do differently this summer for our families so that when first part of May, we're going to roll out June, July, and August. So families can look at that and just put it on their fridge and say, oh, we're going on a field trip here or going here. One place, don't have to go to the website, and they can see when we're going. This year, we're adding the pool. That's optional if a family wants to go. A lot more field trips. We're going to have 3 days in the summer, 1 day in June, July, and August. We're going to invite the families in. We're going to grill out in front of the school. Kids can play with mom and dad while we grill out and offer them to come in and just see what we're all about. We're partnering also with the Lunch with the Cop. Going to do that and bring some of our kiddos down there for that as well. So the summer is exploding. The fall, again, we wanted 60 spots. All 60 spots are filled. Well, filled never means full to me. Like Shannon says, what do you say? Always can take one more kid. So we will have a lot more. The next big piece, as you know, is we're going through getting licensed to be a child care center for 3 and 4-year-olds. There's 7 big components to this that we have to submit to the state. And those are the first, I think, 7 that I have listed. I won't read them all, but you know, our policies and procedures for the state, I would say, I think that handbook that I'm trying to wrap up, that's probably 50 pages of what do you do to reduce risk and tornadoes to fire. You have to have everything in place. So that's an important piece. Once we get that, they say 90 days, but we're trying to get as much in as we can so that we know for fall and we can get some information out to families more on it. The thought process with that is every employee within Rebel Kids Care has to be background checked. There is ratios of 1 to 10 for our preschoolers. And like I mentioned, Shannon and I have been meeting with Roseanne and others. The thought is to have 2 3-year-old classes, 2 4-year-old classes, and then 4 daycare classes. So the thought is when kids come, mom and dad go to work, you know, usually they got to come back at 8:30 and drop their kid off for school readiness. We would have 2 tots and 2 school readiness classes. So mom can drop their kid off at Rebel Kids Care in the morning on the way to work at 7 o'clock. They can go to daycare until 8 o'clock. We walk them down or work with early childhood. They come and pick them up. They go to preschool for 3 hours. They come back to daycare, have lunch, enjoy their day, maybe take a nap, and finish out the day with us. So they're here the whole time. So you think of a parent who might have a 3-year-old, they could do one stop, drop them off, send their kindergartner to school, and finish out the day. So I mean, it's a good thing for the district, and I think it's going to get more kiddos and families into the building sooner than kindergarten. So with that, you know, like I say, we have to, some of those bullets, you can read through them, but also met today with one of our other staff members, Kristen Kadri, and looking at how can we we're offering in the summer through Summer Rec, a school readiness program for 3s and 4s. We are probably looking at how can we maybe minimize that cost to families for session 1 to get them to try it so that they come session 2 and maybe roll into fall. So we're going to be creative in how we market that and what our cost is, if any, for that first session, just to get those kiddos in the door. So we met on that as well. I don't want to downplay at all early childhood or that piece, because that is a busy piece for us right now. That's kind of probably what I'm spending most of my time on. Any questions on that I didn't overview?
What time presently does Rebel Kids Care start?
Right now we're open from 7 to 5:30.
Okay.
But we do open up for families if they need to at 6:45.
Okay.
Because we do have about 4 or 5 families that need to come early, and we just open.
Okay, so obviously if somebody is in preschool and their older sibling
Yeah.
has to be enrolled.
Yep.
in care to get dropped off.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. And I think that, Amy, with that in the fall, we'll probably extend our hours. We'll probably be open 6:30 to 6. Just so that the kids can get in the door and mom and dad can get to work. The one thing with licensing, they'd probably be there for 10 hours.
Mhm.
So most families, if they're working 7 to 3:30, they'll be back by 4:30. So,
And then space in the, whatever, cafeteria.
Yep.
In the mornings.
Yep.
That will be able to accommodate the
You know-
extra kiddos for breakfast and whatnot.
you know what I would say, we have been visiting with Shannon in food service, along with Shannon and myself and others, is trying to find a way, is it that the 3-year-olds get their meal in the lunchroom, or do they get it in the classroom, or we haven't worked through it,
Sure.
but we've already talked to them a couple times on it. We just,
Shannon Nowak is
Yep.
saying maybe with the 3 and 4-year-old family style.
Yep.
So we bring it to the classroom
Okay.
and then they can dish it and kind of take care of it, kind of that style. That's what she's seen in the past as well. So that's, like
Yeah.
Tracy said, we haven't finalized that, but we thought that might be a safer, easier space for those guys to.
Sure.
yeah,
Anyway,
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
probably.
Yeah. Not getting trampled in the
Yeah.
Yeah,
morning.
exactly.
Little
So,
peanuts.
Yeah.
I'll just move on to summer rec quickly because I know you guys want to have a concert maybe. Summer rec, we've rolled that out March 1st, busy with registrations. We've expanded to draw in more kids. 3-year-old programs of pre-T-ball and pre-soccer. So we're going to see a lot of craziness this summer, but just want to get them in the building. You really do.
Coaches ahead of time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We do have the league meeting. That's one that I work with all of our, I've kind of been doing that for a few years, just kind of doing the schedule for the games and stuff and working with our league. So it's gone well. That's April 6th. Schedules for specific games won't come out till mid-May like normal because every town has to get their teams in. Down to the end is post-prom that weekend. We have had little involvement from families this year. So it's probably been maybe 3 to 5 parents that have actually showed up at the meetings and attended. People are just busy. I mean, I hate to say it, people are busy, but Kim Peterson has kind of led post-prom this year. And so what they have done to raise money is they have served all the taco in a bag for concessions with the intent community ed is buying all the food and they reap the profits to help fund it. So overall, right now with the donations they've gotten outside and about $2,800 they got from community ed. Every night we just tracked how many taco in a bags they sold. And Kim and I each night would go through it and look at what we sold. And I think they ended up getting about $2,800, a little over $2,800. So right now they've always targeted about $5,000 in prizes and they're a little over that. With the one thought is for community ed, helping and working with them. The thought is we have an April 22nd JO volleyball tournament. And I've met with Shannon on this, is April 22nd, we are going to reel in these post-prom parents after we've kind of given them this funds to say, help us come and work this JO tournament because the revenue we get from that tournament is going to help pay the hypnotist and something else. We just don't want to have all of our students or others that aren't related to post-prom work it and then give over all that money as well. So we're trying to say have a little stake in the game. And so that's what we're going to do with the April 22nd, enough to pay for the hypnotist and the food. So any questions on that? The rules are in your agenda for tonight.
No
They're simple.
changes to the rules.
No,
Okay.
just, we're gonna do it different a little bit, we're gonna have it here. So prom is gonna get over and we're gonna roll right into post-prom right here, so the kids don't have to go back and forth.
Just be set up in the
Yep.
ball.
Yep, and then we'll move over to the fort when they're done, over there. So it saves a little bit. The last thing is we've rolled out Secure, our door software system. Now we were on a different system, P2000 for all of our doors, and now last week we rolled that out and fast and furious and going well.
We have one more question.
Yes.
Summer rec, speed and strength.
Yes,
Last year, there were two options, one with Mr. Crawford and one with Mrs. Tisberg.
yes.
You know,
I haven't heard anything if, football, it was like a football conditioning
Yeah.
camp. Haven't heard anything that they're
Okay.
gonna do that. That would kind of ran a little bit separate, but we did run it through us. I don't know if they've decided or not. I'm assuming they are, and it might be just a little early to get
so
something
is
else.
Mrs. Tisberg doing the one
Yes.
that's in this? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep,
That's good.
she's
I
doing
just
this
wanted
one.
to-
I had a quick question.
Yes.
Is in the brochure, are you guys posting anything about Bio Girls that's meeting in Dilworth?
You know, we can, and I think the one thing, we had a tweak to one other thing. We just will update our program, our brochure and add something, one, I don't even, can't remember the business off the top of my head or the program. Can you add this in there for us? And we did. Even though our program, brochure was out, we can tweak it at any time. So if we want to just even put in a flyer for Bio Girls, we can. So if you have a contact,
Yeah, a friend of mine, I know she's one of the mentors
Okay.
and they're meeting, so it's the first time Dilworth has had like a chapter. in
okay,
The Bio Girls world. And so they are starting, it's through the summer. I believe it starts in May and ends in early August. And I
Okay.
think you can start signing up mid-April.
okay.
And so just in case anybody in the
Yes.
community is.
Yeah. I think, and I don't know if it's the same chapter, but I know, someone had asked, we're looking at our calendar now for that When I'm in Charge class. That's the same night as a Bio Girls meeting and they have a big group. So if there's a way we can work with even switching the night for ours so that those kiddos can come, because it sounded like they wanted a lot of those girls to come to this class of, what do I do when I'm home alone? But it conflicted with their meeting night and there was something big that they couldn't change. So if our enrollment isn't that high, right now yet, we might look at maybe just switching the day just so that it doesn't conflict with such a big event for them. Anything I missed, Brittany, Nicole?
I think you nailed it.
Well,
This is awesome. The Rebels Kids Care, I get nothing but like kudos about having this available in our community. I would have loved it. I mean, it took me 16 months to get into my daycare at
Yeah.
Sanford and I signed up when I was just newly pregnant. So actually 2.5 years,
Yeah.
you know, to get in. So this is phenomenal. So good work and it's very much appreciated. So. Okay, moving on to board committee reports, policy.
I'll let you, she sent out an off
Okay.
email, so I.
Okay, well, we met last Monday,
Last time.
Last
Yeah.
week,
Yeah,
I
last
think.
week, Monday, that's right. yeah.
and all the policies that are in our agenda with the one reading had no changes except for the reference numbers at the bottom. So like no content changes. And then all of the other ones that have 2 readings are really, really small, minor changes that don't change the actual policy. So maybe like a verbiage change, but nothing major. And the only thing we really discussed about any of these policies was one of them has a prevention, like a tobacco or vaping prevention edition. And Shannon did some checking with our health teachers, just making sure that's in the curriculum and it is. So I think that was our main discussion points.
Yeah, the other thing we did discuss that's not in the policies that we're approving or first reading, second reading was the
The facility use.
facility use and rent and all that kind of what we talked about, Lindsay, when you were in the Kibby's committee. So we talked quite a bit about that, the 3 of us, or 4 of us, sorry. And then I talked to Katie. Katie goes to the AD conference tomorrow. And I asked her to check with more schools, you know, what are they doing with their facilities? We talked a lot about the outdoor facilities we don't charge for, but the inside we do. Well, why? And then there's mowing and we just want to clean them up. And I think we had a great discussion and I shared that with Katie too. She's gonna go and ask more ADs down there at this conference, kind of what, even if they could share with us what they do. Cause we talked a lot about just cleaning it up and making it easier to follow. It's like,
It's really long.
it's like the
and,
Rubik's Cube.
wordy. Mhm. Just to make it more equitable.
Yeah, I'm
across
trying
all
to be fair.
activities. Yeah.
So So then Katie said she'll bring that back so we can talk about the activity council or committee again, and then as a policy group, we can visit it.
And
I just said we really want to have it ready for next fall.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have a little.
Yeah,
just to be cohesive, maybe, have Katie along with policy, along with activities and Tracy,
yeah,
like a work group session to kind of really hammer it out.
because it affects so many
It
people.
does.
Yeah,
It's
it
kind
does.
of,
And we're on the same page about it when.
Right.
we
Yeah,
talk about it.
Because coaches obviously have a vested interest and clubs do, and then it's school activity accounts and
Yeah,
remember that discussion. I mean, we've
Yeah.
had it multiple times and it's time to kind of bring it together, have some closure, and next fall, here's what it is. Doesn't mean it's stuck, but it will be
Yeah.
for that year and we'll learn
Yeah.
from it for sure, but
for sure.
there's just a lot of variables.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, I think it's good to have discussion with all the different, players at the table, and I think that'll be helpful to hear what Katie finds out.
yeah,
ahead of the
I agree.
conference, so.
Because we had some really smart ideas, the four of us, but
Oh, I think.
we'll see.
All right, and superintendent report, 6.3.
All right, construction update. Maybe you heard, we did walk through the north end of the Dilworth building today and we had tours last Friday with all the elementary kids. So they've been walking through the offices and trying to figure out, okay, where do we go? It was funny, one of the teachers today said, well, we used the big bathroom in the hallway today and everybody came out that went in. They really liked that we just have blow dryers there. We don't have towels, so it wasn't so messy. And I said, that's good and bad because we want to make sure they try their hands on the blow dryer, not their buddy's clothes, whatever else. But just fun to see them coming down that hallway to use the gym and out to music. It's just
What was the name? I saw it.
the Rebel Road.
Rebel Road. I like that.
Yeah,
That's really
yeah.
nice.
So anyway, it was really nice. We used it today. Some people dropped off. It's the first day, so not many did. I think they're going, oh, shoot, we can drop off on the north end. We'll kind of watch that this week and see how that goes, but it's just nice to be open. Jamie was down, Wayne and Brittany today. They all worked from down there. I said, it's nice when, not that any elementary kid ever gets in trouble, but let's just say that it could possibly happen. But to walk from the playground, the lunchroom or their classroom to come up there, I said, it's an automatic intervention. They've had time to cool up. So then Angie Cleveland, who helps, Jamie during her lunch, she goes, that's exactly what happened. Earlier this morning, she had to walk two kids down that were having a disagreement. By the time they got to the office, they were giggling, laughing, giving each other a high five. Let's turn around and go. So anyway, it's just nice to open that up. The media center will open up later this week. The music rooms are really close too, but it's just nice to get into that one. So,
Well-
yeah,
Will they move this year still, or what dates?
the music I think is gonna wait.
Okay.
Just because, but at least those rooms will be available and end of the year they can get moved in and whatever. Unless they want to change, it sounds like they'll probably just leave it alone for this year, but it could be an option. The shop, we've moved in equipment and stuff too, so they're starting to get into that space and it's been turned over. So it's just a matter of now getting everything ready so it's usable and whatnot. So again, I think we took a tour there last time or a couple weeks ago, but yeah, so that's nice also. Just so people know, we have a concert and then next week we're gonna start, all the lighting is gonna get updated in the theater starting next week. That was a part of this project as well. And so the sound got improved. We got the projector in there and the new screen. Now we're gonna get the new lighting. The lighting is gonna be, well, if you guys go down there, we need lighting, like it's so dark in there. But it'll have other colors. It's just gonna be state of the art. It's gonna be really nice. So that's gonna start, I think it's next week. I got an email, theater lighting, April 3rd through April 14th. It's 2 weeks that they're gonna be going through it. So that'll be nice too. Yeah. And then we'll have more stuff later in our budget committee tonight about the construction budget, and we're doing fine, and we'll just kind of spell that out for you then. Payroll update, Omni, we're waiting for them on the final. As you guys know, when we met with the teachers union, we're waiting for their final restorative calculation. And we're gonna be about 98% done with that whole thing. Not that that was a long time or anything, but that'll be really nice. So we're waiting for them. I'm hoping that'll happen later this week. Elisa comes tomorrow to meet with Becky, so Becky will start taking over payroll. They're meeting tomorrow in person, so they are working through that. So then the Brady March deal with Elisa will slowly get backed off until Becky's got it. So that's kind of where we're at with that. Personnel and contracts, et cetera. So we've been interviewing on and off here for various positions. There's some offers that have been made, nothing official, nothing to bring you yet, but I would say the next board meeting, you're gonna start to see some new staff that's been hired. That includes the kitchen. I think she has 3 interviews set up. I think we have 7 people that have applied. So she's gonna have some options there, which is great. So I talked to her this afternoon. She's really excited about the resume she's been reading through. So that's a good thing. Same with the staff, like we talked about. There's some interviews going on. There was a special ed interview. I think there's an elementary interview. I think there's 10 elementary interviews too for over there next week. Right, Brooke? 10, I think. Yep. So that's awesome. So we're very fortunate. We're getting some applicants. Well,
It's nice. that
that's double
early-
digits, by the way, 10. I don't know if you guys know. It's
Ten.
Yeah.
Say it
10.
again.
Yeah, 10, not 3, not 1 with a license. We got 10. So, yeah. So excited. Yes. So
Big deal.
anyway, so yeah, it's funny that we talk like that, but it's true. It is
Yeah.
it's something to be excited about. And the last thing, we have a budget committee tonight. I have a lot of budget things I want to work through with you guys, as you will see. Questions?
When will we get like, section updates like, for elementary grades, high school, middle school? Like, will we need to be moving sections around?
Oh, yeah.
Or,
Yeah, like, so first grade won't have 6, it'll have 7 or
yeah, stuff
whatever.
like that.
They are working through placements right now
Okay.
because they've talked and met with some staff about moving them to different grade levels and that. That should be really soon. That's a
Okay.
great question. So,
Okay.
yeah.
If we need
Nope.
to hire more
No,
Switch
no, I
things
know
around,
that.
okay.
We've already talked about that.
Okay.
We're gonna still be
or
at
just making
29.
it work with
Yep.
whoever we need.
So we have retirement, and we have some
Sure.
moving parts, as you guys know, as part of the agenda tonight. We're hiring for those spots, so we have 29 elementary staff right now, and next year our plan is to have 29. Middle school, we're gonna gain 1 through some internal, and then the high school, we're hoping to add 1, either business or ag or tech, depending on what we can find. Joe's working, and him and Kent are working through, if this, then that. Because with the ag piece, the industrial tech and the business, there's some interchangeable pieces there. So they've been talking with Roger, business teacher, about he can teach some ag, econ and ag classes. If we don't find an ag teacher, then if we find, so Joe is working through that, having some applicants. Yeah. It's,
Maybe in the next couple of meetings, we'll find out.
yeah, I would say honestly, by our next board meeting, we're gonna know almost all of them.
Oh, awesome.
Or at least we'll know exactly kind of what we're gonna be doing.
And offering if we can.
Yep.
figure.
Yeah, I hope we can have everybody in place. by
Yeah.
then, but- Yeah. It's a big world out there. Anyway, other questions?
All right, we'll move on. 7.1, this is the approval of our regular meeting on March 13th. Do I have a motion? Motion by Amy. Is there a second? Second by Bull. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda, claims and accounts, Laura.
$589,924.76.
Also included in your packet is the treasurer's monthly budget report. We are also approving the resignation of Lauren Summers, paraprofessional, effective March 14th. Approve the resignation of Deb Langseth, food service, effective March 20th. Resignation of Mason Edwards, food service, effective March 20th. Resignation of Grace Herzog, food service, effective March 20th. Resignation of Jordan Geiser, middle school teacher, effective the end of the 2022-23 school year. Approve the resignation of Jonathan Mark, elementary teacher, effective the end of the 2022-23 school year. Resignation of Laura Lehman, middle school teacher, effective the end of the 2022-23 school year, and approve the resignation of Tammy Spear for food service, effective March 21st. And also approving the leave of absence of Lisa Turstrig, elementary teacher for the 23-24 school year. Do we have a motion? Motion by Nicole. Do we have a second? Second by Micah. Any questions or discussion?
No. Just a question on leave of absence. That just the normal course that we do that, or is that
Yeah.
part? Okay.
It's, so she has some daycare concerns and issues right now and trying to work through that. So she wanted to be on the front end because it doesn't look promising for what she needs. And so she requested it, and I guess I'm okay with it. We'd like her not to take a leave because we want her, but we also want to work with her, I guess, or I'd like us to work with her. It's not super common, but it's one of those deals where I think we work with her because she would like to come back to, the way I understand it. Just is in a situation right now. Sure. It's a good question.
What is, how is food services running with all of the staff?
Yeah, so like I shared with you, the weekly update, Shannon Nowak, her and one sub, you should come and watch it. You just look
It's
up
still
Shannon.
on time, like.
I'll
running
talk
smoothly,
to,
like,
people in Glen, and I would visit with her today, and cause we can't, Katie, Tracy, teachers, people said, hey, let us help. Oh, we got it.
My kid said that they just self-serve.
She
and
self-serves
they-
and she watches and she's got her counts and
My kids have said it's worked very seamlessly.
I think it's just, sometimes when we do things a certain way for so long, you can try something new and it's just like, wow, this really works. I will tell you, she is a rock star. She works hard. She has great ideas and they're doing it.
so when I met with her, we need people. Okay. But she is managing it with a sub. The sub stands at the computer and she makes sure the line is full. It's, I guess I can't say it any other way than you should watch
Yeah.
it. It just works. I watched it last week and going, okay, fantastic. But, no, we need 4 people and that's, she's got, so she is, yeah. And I said, geez, and I said, the superintendent thinks we're good. But yeah, you can only do that for so long, right? So again, we have 7 people who have applied and she's interviewing already this week, so. She, I don't know, if you talk to her at all, you would know that there's one person gonna. She's just super positive, super excited about the opportunities and things. So, she sent Brooke and I last Friday, hey, if you're not eating it at Glendon today, you're missing out, because they had homemade potatoes, cut seasoned potatoes, and I don't know what else. Tomorrow they're having the real beef cheeseburgers here from,
Workford Farms.
there you go, thank you. So that's tomorrow here. She's doing it, I have no idea how it's all happening, but everything I see and watch, it's working, so,
For good thing.
I know my place, it's to stay indoors. But she just said, yeah, I got it, it's good, and
All right.
yeah.
Well, yes, thank you for everybody for stepping in. She sounds like she's doing amazing. All right, so we have a motion. I lost my sheet. Nicole, oh, there we go, and sorry, it's Monday. Any other questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, new and unfinished business, 9.1, this is the post-prom rules. Do we have a motion? Motion by David, is there a second? Second by Amy. Any discussion or questions since Tracy's here? Like she said, there's no changes from previous years, just location change this year. So will they have time to leave, Tracy, if they so choose?
Yeah.
To go
Yeah.
change, so like that hour leeway time, okay. All right, any questions or discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Policies, this is the second reading of the following policies, 301, school district administration, 305, policy implementation, 406, public and private personnel data, 419, tobacco-free environment, 422, policies incorporated by reference. We have a motion. Motion by Nicole, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Lori. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, 9.3, this is the first and only reading of the following policies. 620, credit for learning. 6:24 online learning options. 7:01 establishment of a district budget. 7:01.1 modification of district budget. 7:02 accounting. 7:03 annual audit. 7:04 fixed assets. 7:05 investments. 7:06 acceptance of gifts, and 7:07 transportation of public students. Do we have a motion? I got Brittany over here. David, you want a second? Any questions or discussions? Right, hearing no questions or discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next board meeting is Monday, April 10th, 6 p.m. in the community room, followed by personnel committee following that meeting. Just to let the public know, tomorrow night, we're gonna be participating in phase 3 school board workshop training here at the Glen site. So we'll be here from 6 to 9, working on that. And also April 4th, yes, 6 to 9. So I'm excited. I kind of breezed through the packet a little bit, just to kind of look. I read the do not fill it in. Katie's, instructions on the front. So I did read it, Katie. You're not gonna watch it. I listen. So anyway, anything else, team? All right, it is 6:15, meeting adjourned.